there are more exciting details about the DOJ turning to really hone in on Trump. Bear in mind that up until this point, they've been largely silent about how and even whether it should weigh pursuing potential charges against Trump, reluctant even to concede that his role was discussed in senior leadership meetings, which is such a massive indictment of this investigation that you wouldn't even acknowledge that the dude who cooed should be investigated during the coup investigation. But anyway, we should also bear in mind going forward that asking questions about Mr. Trump in connection with the electors plot on the one hand or on the insurrection does not mean that the DOJ has opened a criminal investigation into him. They're not confirming that, they're implying that they haven't yet. But prosecutors have questioned witnesses testifying before a grand jury in recent days about their conversations with Trump and his closest advisors about the fake electors scheme. 2 Pence aides who testified, one is Marc, we're gonna be showing you him a little bit later. That was Pence's chief of staff. Greg Jacob, who was his counsel, were both present at the big Oval Office meeting just a couple days before the insurrection when Mr. Trump sought to pressure Pence into embracing the plan to cite these competing, fake, made up, imaginary slates of electors as justification to not certify the vote. And in fact, in recent weeks, the DOJ has seized phones from 2 key figures. So John Eastman, one of the craziest lawyers in the whole country. That's the lawyer who helped develop and promote the plan to not do the certification. Also, Jeffrey Clark, a former DOJ official who was at the center of the related push to send the slates of electors pledged to Trump from states that Mr. Biden actually won. And prosecutors have also issued grand jury subpoenas to figures connected to the so-called fake electors schemes. This is, by the way, this is all seemingly separate from the Georgia stuff where they have a state level investigation, and in theory, they could be looking into that too. This is a separate avenue of investigation. Recent subpoenas, and this is getting back into the fake electors thing. The Washington Post found that 2 Arizona state legislators were ordered to turn over any communications with member, employee, or agents of Donald J. Trump or any investigation advocating in favor of Trump to be reelected, including Donald J. Trump for president. So some of those presumably who were part of the plot, who might have even been fake electors themselves, being ordered to turn over any information they have, not just if they've communicated with some of the groups, like third-party groups that were trying to get this done, but Trump and his organization as well. And the chance that they didn't communicate with them, I mean, come on, it's so implausible. Now they may not do it willingly, but okay, send them to prison with Steve Bannon too, honestly. And we've got, I think, the most interesting and again, damning details on the fake electors thing. We'll get to that in one sec. But JR, I know you're not hot, you're not bullish on this, but they're doing all of this investigating and subpoenaing and all that.
You know what? Okay, fine, John. They're moving. But the thing is you have to have a bit of a track record for at least your energy and your focus. So if you have to be convinced by this committee from things that you had no idea was the case, and also now figuring out that Donald Trump might be a figure involved in this entire thing about saving his election that he did lose, that he said he didn't lose. The fact that you have to be clued in on this, that he's potentially a part of it, is just not. It's not satisfying. Let's keep it real. Now, again, I don't know anything about the process. Obviously, I've never been an attorney general. So maybe they're doing it in the best way possible. Maybe if they're burning down buildings and going crazy and going on and having press conferences about who they're going after, maybe that would actually taint the investigation. So maybe I'm willing to be wrong. My ego is not big enough to be like, I know what Merrick Garland should be doing. I just wish if you're gonna do it, do it. And if you're not gonna do it, just don't come and tell us how you're kind of thinking about maybe doing something, because that doesn't give us much confidence in your ability to defend the country. That's all.
Well, if they're gonna do something, here's something they should look into. So this came out in the last day or so. So it's internal communications in the people who are involved in that plot to just make up fake electors or whatever. And look, we know that whole plot, it's not constitutional, it doesn't mean anything. But they have all this time, they would have you believe that no, it's serious. They have great respect for the Constitution and the law, and they're totally serious about this. That's what they say to us. But what do they say to each other? Well, one individual, Phoenix-based lawyer who helped organize the Arizona-based fake electors thing, is an email December 2020 to Boris Epstein, by the way. Jake Walenchik said, "We would just be sending in fake electoral votes to Pence so that someone in Congress can make an objection when they start counting votes and start arguing that the fake votes should be counted." And then apparently, after doing a bit of thinking about it, and I think the most important thinking in politics is always after you send the email, he does a follow-up email writing that alternative votes is probably a better term than fake votes. And he put a smiley face emoji after it. Come on. They don't believe any of this. This is all fun times. This is all games. This is little fun games for them. They don't mean any of this. Even internally, they're joking about how fake their plot to overturn democracy is, JR.
Isn't that crazy? Listen, every time there's people that talk about what politicians do or plans behind something, or even the people who pay them to do it, they're always like, well, yeah, we haven't found the smoking gun. Oh yeah, no, they're not, this isn't actually pulling back the veil and there's this smoke-filled room of a bunch of conspirators. Those things usually don't pop up. We've seen like multiple examples of literally the smoking gun, in some cases, I guess. But also the smoke-filled room of people that are conspiring behind the scenes to try and pull these things off and openly saying, yeah, we're liars, these are fake, but let's not say fake because people might realize that we're fake. It's just said right there, straightforward. Who can still read this and support these folks? The folks who don't read it. And that's why we talked about on my show earlier when we were talking about folks at these Trump rallies, they just go la 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 la.
Yeah. Well, I think you're 2/3 of the way there. I think 2/3 definitely won't read it, or maybe even more. But there are a few people that they would read it. And they don't want Trump to be president because he won the election. They want Trump to be president. Done. End of story.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like, make up whatever you want. They just want it. They should just be honest about that. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.